Teen Titans number 19, written by Scott Lobdell and Tony Bedard, art by Eddie Barrows. So, last issue, Red Robin pulled the Teen Titans to fight the Suicide Squad and then made a deal with Amanda Waller, and they didn't like that, and then Trigon showed up. So, at this point, we see Wonder Girl grabbing Red Robin by the throat, basically demanding answers as to why they were forced to fight the Suicide Squad for seemingly no reason. And Kid Flash and all the rest of the Teen Titans are trying to like talk her down, just like pull her off and saying like, okay, yeah, you know, maybe there's a reason that he did it. We need to just let him talk and explain himself. And that's what teammates do. He's never led us astray before. And so Cassie sets down Tim and it's just like, okay, tell us your side of the story and tell us the truth. And Red Robin's like, I don't know you anything. You're on my team. I opened up my house and you expect an explanation. No, either you're with me or you're out. I don't need this sort of insubordination anymore. And I really don't care either way. And as he's walking away, everyone is like, okay, well, that's unexpected, but you know, maybe he's been through a lot. You know, there was a whole thing going on in his backstory we're not aware of. So at that point, then Cassie just crashes to the ground. Her what's it called? Silent armor? I think that's it. It all of a sudden triggers, and she immediately knows that Trigon is around, and she is off to take care of it. And Superboy, having been on that arc, explains it all to everyone else. So, cut over to Trigon in Times Square. He's just causing mass mayhem and destruction. We see that this kid who has the ability to kill people just by thinking like drop dead, he apparently now goes by the name of Simon, Psimon, and he's cowering in fear from Trigon. But then Trigon notices him, and he's like, hey, you got some powers, and they're really, really dark, like super edgelord stuff. You and I, we got powers together. And he's like, oh, seriously? Power? That's sweet. And then all of a sudden, Cassie comes in and is like, you want to talk about power? And just punches Trigon in the face to the point where he actually like feels it. And she's like, okay, yeah, you sucker punch me, good enough. And then grabs Cassie out of midair and be like, but you ain't going to do that again. And then we see that he's able to look into Cassie's like mind and her past and says like, oh, you would have been so much different if your father had raised you and showed you your true lineage. And we see that her father is, I'm blanking on his name. I think it's like Calyx or something like that from Wonder Woman. Like one of the secondary characters from that book who we are very well acquainted with. And she's like, what? I didn't even know my father. How do you know that? So at that point, Superboy comes in, starts throwing punches, and Trigon's about to do like a crazy I-beam attack, and Kid Flash manages to swoop him out of the way. All the Titans are together here, and Red Robin's like, okay, what are we up against? What in the heck is it, Wonder Girl? And she's like, oh, it's Trigon, like Elder God thing. We might need the Justice League. This is a bit much for us. Cut to LA, where Beast Boy is reeling from the end of Ravagers. Like, Ravagers ended with issue 20. I don't know how it ends, but apparently Beast Boy is not okay. And Raven shows up and says, hey, Beast Boy, I'm Raven. You're just barely alive, and for some reason I need you. And she senses that Trigon has already started attacking the Earth, and he's like, okay, Beast Boy, here's the thing. I need to bring you into this battle. I really wish you could have waited, but right now we are birds of a feather, and I control you. So, cut back to New York. Trigon's using his powers to entrap Bunker in his own bricks, which Wonder Girl's trying to punch him out of. And Red Robin's just standing there like, he's kind of just toying with us, and he could kill us with just a thought. So I don't know why he's doing this. And Kid Flash is like, okay, well, you think that one through. I'm going to go ahead and save our friends. And as he rushes in Trigon, he does the same, like, mind whammy attack thing and says, like, oh, Kid Flash, you were sentenced to death for, like, something in your past, and you're not aware of it. And he's like, oh my god, you're right, I was. It's like crimes against humanity? What is going on? So Superboy and Wonder Girl jump in to throw some more punches, but they are immediately grabbed by Beast Boy, being controlled by Raven, and given the form of an octopus, but only in his lower half, so they can grab all of the Teen Titans and the tentacles. And basically, they're just like, okay, I don't even know this one. I have no idea what she's about. But Red Robin's thinking like, all right, Trigon, what's your real game? What are you really after? And Solstice sees that Simon is in one of the tentacles, and he's like, "Hey, don't be afraid. Like, we'll save you. We'll make sure you're fine." And he's like, "I'm not afraid. I ain't afraid of nothing. You should all be afraid. I'm one power." And then all of a sudden, the military shows up, starts shooting at Beast Boy's tentacles, ends up causing Solstice and crew to like fall to the ground. And then Simon's like, "I'm so sick of being pushed around. All you military folks can just drop dead." And of course, they all drop dead. And then Beast Boy's like, "You just killed all them with your mind?" And he's like, "Yeah, and I'm going to do it to you next. Not if I grind your bones into dust first." And then both of them collapse. All the other Teen Titans are fine. And they're like, oh, their powers must have canceled each other out. Which I don't understand how Beast Boy's ability to turn into an octopus cancels out dropping dead. But sure, why not? So at that point, we see Tim Drake's like, okay, here's the thing. A bunch of U.S. soldiers are dead. We're the only ones left here. Trigon's just gone, I guess. He just disappeared off panel. And all people are going to remember is a bunch of teenagers failing to save the day. Raven, is this what your father wanted to do to us? To bring us down and make us look bad? And Raven's like, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds like something he'd do. Yeah, sure. That's what he did. He did that to you. And then the issue just ends. Okay, so I'm just going to ignore the fact that they just spoil the end of Ravagers because whatever. It's not going to matter after the fact, so who cares? I hate the fact that Scott Lobdell loves his mysteries so much. How he sets up these things and he's like, oh, but then who is this mysterious character? You're not going to get an answer for that for 4 issues. Like, why did Red Robin have them talk to the Suicide Squad? And ends last issue saying, and we'll talk about it later. And then when this issue comes around, he's just like, I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we even bothering telling a story if we're not going to get half of it? I don't feel like I'm ever getting answers to the things that Lobdell is like setting up here. And he throws so much at the wall and nothing ever sticks. It's just random crap. Why is Raven now just controlling Beast Boy? Oh, well, I'm sure we'll get the answer to that maybe in 3 issues time. But more likely, we're just going to be forced to accept that it happened. Remember when Skitter just disappeared? What was the answer to that, Lobdell? The answer is nowhere. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm so frustrated with this book because this is the first point where I felt like maybe there could have been something going on because it had like a series of issues here that I thought were actually pretty just cohesive, all within themselves. But then this season one's just throwing everything at the wall again. Remember that dude who was made of light? He wasn't even in this issue. He was barely in the last issue. But he's a character that we're going to have to get familiar with at some point eventually. I'm giving this one a 4. And the only reason I'm giving it that high is because I think the art is fine. I didn't have any problems following the series of events from panel to panel, but the writing did not do that any favors. So 4.